Time for Read and React right now. I read, the guys react. Irv, you're up first. James Conner expected to go tonight on Sunday Night Football. Juju Smith-Schuster, however, not. Will the Steelers offense with Duck Hodges wake up today against the tough Bills defense, sir?
Rich, wake up may be too strong of a word, but certainly perk up, we can use that word when you're getting back a Pro Bowl running back and you put him with the young quarterback who's clipping you at about 70% completion percentage. You better believe it. Doesn't wake up, yes, it will definitely perk up.
All right, Mooch, we need you to react to the fact that this does finally appear. This will be 100% the last Raiders home game in the black hole. You are a Bay Area guy, Steve. The most safe for work manner. Please tell us how you look back at the Raiders' stay in Oakland.
Rich, this will be a very emotional day in Oakland. You got great fans over there. You got the black hole, the Great Wall of Davis. How many great coaches and owners, Al Davis, John Madden, Tom Flores, great players. Well, we're talking about 8 already on the NFL 100 all-time team. And you got Hall of Famers galore, 21, 26 if you count Los Angeles. But you're talking about great plays, the sea of hands. We remember so many great things about the Oakland Coliseum. And, Rich, I will remind you.
Yes.
The autumn wind is a Raider.
That's correct, sir. A Pirate, no doubt about it. Kurt, let's talk about the Tennessee Titans. Holy Tannehill, Batman. They're 6-1 since he's taken over. 3 straight games with a completion percentage over 75 and a passer rating over 130. Only Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback to do that in a single season in NFL history. Has he earned the long-term love, do you think, for a contract in Tennessee?
Oh, man, Rich, this is so hard because I believe he's earned a new contract. But we're talking about quarterback contracts. We're talking about $35 million. Now, Ryan Tannehill has been great, but you have to wonder, is this an outlier? Is this one of those seasons where everything's come together? Are we going to get this guy for the rest of his career? Because we haven't seen it up to this point. So love what Ryan Tannehill is doing. I don't believe he's earned that franchise tag quite yet. We want to see a little bit more, maybe another year of this, maybe a franchise tag for Ryan Tannehill. But, man, he has been great for this team, and I believe they want to keep him moving forward. For more on this huge game between the Texans and Titans, let's head down to Nashville where we find Tom.
And guess what? Now Akeem Hicks returns, having missed the past 8, just over roughly 8 games for this Chicago Bears team. The emotional leader across the board. I asked one coach, though, how much are we going to see of Hicks in this game today in terms of a snap count? I was told it will be a complete feel throughout the course of this game. The more effective plays, the more you'll see him. But he has been going hard in terms of conditioning in practice. They feel like he will impact this game. And by the way, cornerback Prince Amukamara, he is back, having missed last week with the hamstring. So great news for the Bears as they get ready to face Aaron Rodgers, who is 17-5 only, well, big time against these Bears in his career as a starter. Right now, we send you to Landover, where Kim Jones is standing by. Kim?
Well, thanks so much, Stacey. You know, I asked Dwayne Haskins the other day what he's learned most in this rookie year. He said how to deal with adversity. He added, as a competitor, you hate losing. Then there's Carson Wentz, who has Miles Sanders, Zach Ertz, and a core of players who've spent time on the practice squad for the Eagles this season. Now let's send it to Tiffany Blackman in Charlotte.
Kim, this Seahawks defense is going to be without some key pieces today, like Jadeveon Clowney and Michael Kendricks. And we'll also keep an eye on the status of Shaquille Griffin, who's questionable with a hamstring injury. But that unit is going to try to do something that no other defense has really been good at doing this season, and that's slowing down Christian McCaffrey, who is closing in on 2,000 scrimmage yards. Seahawks coach Pete Carroll, he called his numbers crazy. And when I spoke with linebacker KJ Wright, he told me if the Panthers had a better record, that McCaffrey would definitely be in the MVP conversation. Now let's kick it out to Ian for more on the Cowboys coaching situation.
Thanks, Tiffany. Obviously, the status of Jason Garrett is something we're going to be discussing over the next month. Here's one thing to consider. Sean Payton, the Saints coach, not an option this time. But listen to this. Last year, after the season, through back channels, nothing official, the Cowboys made it known that they would be interested in Sean Payton if he was interested in them. And obviously, a lot of things would have to happen. Peyton considered it. He helped use that leverage to land a massive contract extension that was actually agreed to last winter, not before the season. Meanwhile, if the Cowboys do end up moving on from Jason Garrett, Rich, here are some names to consider. Ron Rivera is certainly going to be on the list. Urban Meyer, I know there's some mutual interest there. Matt Rule, the current Baylor coach, and of course, Lincoln Riley from Oklahoma.
All right, Ian, thanks very much. Considered the league's most prestigious honor, the Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year Award, presented by Nationwide, recognizes NFL players who have not only exhibited excellence on the field, but whose passion to impact lives extends beyond the game and has led them to leave a positive legacy in their communities. Here are this year's 32 nominees. Congratulations to them and the group of men from which this field was winnowed. This year's winner will be announced at NFL Honors the night before Super Bowl 54 in Miami. To learn more about all of these nominees and terrific men, visit NFL.com/man of the year. Sean Watson arriving for work in Tennessee after a shocking home loss to the Denver Broncos last week on the heels of beating the Patriots. Of clinching the AFC North, they get the juice of the first-round bye should the Patriots or Chiefs surprise with a loss today. And if they both surprise by losing today, home field throughout the AFC playoffs goes through Baltimore. Time for Play with Abandon, presented by Wrangler. Guys,
I'll tell you who's playing with abandon is that guy right there, Lamar Jackson. Games in a row. Michael, is he unstoppable?
Unstoppable, Coach. He's unstoppable. I was there Thursday night, and wow, what I saw was incredible. When this dude get that ball and he goes north-south, it's like he was shot out of a cannon, man. He not only broke the rushing record, for a quarterback, he threw 5 touchdowns in the process of it. And what was beautiful, when I watched this and they went for it they were third down, they didn't get it. When I saw him waving off, no, we're going for it on fourth down. I said, oh my God, this is his team now. It's over. Yes, I do believe he's unstoppable.
Well, because he's the best athlete on the football field. Like, you watch it, and you break down, and every week we go, okay, how is this team going to stop the Ravens? And no matter what you do, it's always one-on-one, Coach. It's like that guy against somebody on your team, and he's better than the somebody on your team. I mean, he's faster.
No doubt.
You talk about north and south. I'll talk about east and west. You get out there in space, there is no chance of tackling him unless you just happen to maybe guess right one time. You guys remember playing in the schoolyard when you were growing up, and you always played against the older guy that was a better athlete. And every time you get matched up, it's like, oh, man, I have no chance. Every once in a while, you might guess right. He reminds me of you in the backyard right there.
No.
Really? I was the Houdini before he was Houdini. Don't you remember the T-shirt? Come on, Mooch.
I think Brenda did
but
that
yeah,
for
I mean, it's tough. And then when you commit to it, I mean, you saw the other night, everybody was wide open down the field, too.
Everybody's wide open.
I mean, it is a tough thing to stop.
We knew that he was fast and an athlete and he would be great in the run game, but I'm really pleasantly surprised on how well he's throwing the football with confidence. They're getting guys open because of the run game, but he's a very efficient and smart passer right now. You got to play these guys like you play, say, the Kansas City Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes' offense. Assume that they're going to score a lot of points. And you have to outscore them to beat them. That's how they lost a couple of games to Kansas City and Cleveland.
Treated it. I mean, they got down there late. I'm not going to kick a field goal. We're going to go for it. The only problem is if you don't get it one time,
and
game
you give
over
him
that
the
way
ball
too.
with good field position.
Exactly.
They're a lot of fun to watch. Rich, you're a lot of fun to watch, too. Where are you?
You know what, Steve? I appreciate you saying that. You don't have to say it just because I'm standing here with the AFC playoff picture information. Bills Steelers tonight, 5 versus 6. That is huge. Titans and Texans. That would mean if the Titans win, a changing of the guard in the AFC South. Texans could be on the outside looking in the hunt, if you will, sniffing it. By the end of today, let's go back on location to Kansas City, where Kay Adams, Willie McGinnis, and Steve Smith, quite frankly, can't look any colder. Take it away.
Hope you guys are staying warm in those recliner chairs. I wouldn't trade this for anything in the elements at Arrowhead, of course.
There's several things I would trade this for.
The Chiefs clinching the AFC West yet again, similarly to what the Ravens did, but their seeding is definitely different. The Chiefs sitting in the 3 seed, the Ravens sitting pretty at 12-2. So, Willie, I ask you, who is the biggest threat to the Ravens?
Well, you know what? The top 3 seeds outside of the Ravens are pretty good, but I'm going to go with the Chiefs because they got scoring power. And over the last 3 weeks, I know when you talk about Ravens averaging almost 200 yards a game rushing, you got to be able to stop the run. The Chiefs have improved, giving up only 100 yards in the last 3 weeks versus 148. But I look at the other side of the ball. If you're going to get into a scoring match, you got to have some firepower offensively. The Chiefs can do that. They can score a lot of points. They can hit you quick with the big plays. They like to get their guys in space and make the big plays. So now you're not playing from behind. So if you want to go toe-to-toe, I think the Chiefs offense can do that.
And their pass defense is much improved over the last 3 games. I got to ask you about their run game. I think playoffs, I think snow,
Right.
I think Baltimore running the ball, time of possession. This is a team that's bottom 5 in the league as far as a rushing attack. They are averaging less than 100 yards on the ground every game this season. Concerns about that?
No, it's not because they can't. It's just because they don't run it as much. And they got into a little bit of trouble last year and the year before when they stopped running the football. But I think they have that balance and they can implement it when they want. But they have so many different weapons. You got to figure out what they're going to do. So that's what makes them so special.
Is it the Chiefs?
No, I think what I believe is the Baltimore Ravens, their biggest threat is themselves. They're a young team. They've had so much success so quickly. They've on this 10-game, 11-game winning streak, how they're playing, how they're outscoring people, what Lamar Jackson is doing. So I believe the only thing that can stop a young team is their success. Getting up each week, and especially when you're playing a lesser opponent like the Jets. There were some phases of that game that they started to kind of show, we would know we're playing a lesser team. Then they ratcheted it up. They started to increase. They waved off, like Michael talked about, they waved off the punting team and started to say, hey, we need to establish ourselves, dominate this football game the way we should, the way we know how and what we've been doing thus 10 games before. And so that's what they did. So that's why I believe the only person that can stop the Baltimore Ravens are the Baltimore Ravens.
You on Thursday night was some of my favorite television I've seen all season long, post-game, hanging out with Mark Ingram, the energy of that team, and Lamar Jackson. What was your one takeaway from spending some time with him and being there live in Baltimore in person?
One of the things that I took away that was major was I had some meetings earlier with some sources, and one of the things they said is I asked them, why did they get Lamar Jackson? And the answer I got was nothing what I expect. They said when they did the interview process, they learned about Lamar Jackson was he's smart, he's humble, but however, his football IQ is off the charts, and that's why they have acquired so many pieces, players, coaches, to adapt to this MVP type of game-changing quarterback that has changed the landscape of the NFL for the Baltimore Ravens today moving forward.
And that's why they're 12.